Welcome back to Sonod Hex, everybody. Tonight we are with Jarahawk, and he is going to roll up a random character. Oh, what's this? Interesting. Okay. So I'm just gonna drop a token on the board for you, because in order to roll with roll characters with the macros I've created, you have to have a token first, and you're gonna need a character sheet. Excuse me. Man, my allergies are really affecting me today. I don't know what it is. I can feel my... Man. I need to cough real quick. Excuse me. Alright, sorry about that.
No problem.
Okay. Alright, so I'm going to name this character sheet Jarahawk. And I'm going to slide it to the very top of the journal tab. And I give you permission to view and edit. So the bio and info tab, I give permission for all players to view, because the bio and info tab represents the information that you as a character are willing to share with the other players. So if you have any secret information about your character, please don't put it on your bio tab, because everyone's going to read it. Okay, so you can now edit your character sheet, and I'm going to connect this token to your character sheet so that you can have control of it, and roll stats. Okay, so this is your token for now. It's just this little mummy thing. So if you click on that, a bunch of buttons will appear at the top of the screen. If you click on the one that's called character creation, it will it'll roll random stats for you. And if you're not satisfied with your first set of stats, I do allow one re-roll, but you're stuck with whatever you re-roll the second time. So since you don't have a class and race preference, so did you find your token right there? Should be the very last button on a long list of buttons.
Okay, I'm waiting on my page to load. I thought I was in, but it says wait. So give me a moment here.
Oh, okay.
This is what I call Murphy's Law. I can be on this thing all day when I'm not in a game, and just look at all my characteristics and stuff. No problem.
Oh yeah, yep. This game's pretty highly detailed. There are a lot of like handouts and stuff to read about the lore of the game. So the more experienced your character gets, the more access you'll have to these handouts, and a lot of them reference each other, and a lot of other characters' handouts reference each other and other characters. So it turns the whole lore of the game into kind of like a wiki. Let's see. Jarahawk. Save settings.
Okay.
Alright, so you see your... It should look like a mummy. Like a little cartoon mummy. Did the page load?
Yeah, I'm looking at a grid, like a white grid with black lines right now.
Oh, okay. Should start loading in images soon. Do you hear the music yet?
No. I don't think I have it muted.
Should sound like a bunch of piano. With a nice little drum tempo in the background. It's a pretty pleasant, and shakers for rhythm. Maracas. Is that what they're called?
Oh, okay.
Oh, you hear it now?
No, not yet.
Excuse me. My allergies today.
All right, I'm looking at my sheet now. It says available class archetypes: priest, psionicist, rogue, warrior, wizard.
Oh, okay. That means that you can probably see the this token right here on the board. Should look like a little cartoon mummy. If you click on it, there'll be a bunch of buttons across the top of the screen. The one you want to click on is called character creation. Should be the last one in a long line of buttons. And it will roll stats for you. Do you see this little mummy token right here?
Yeah, yeah, I see it. I hear the music now too.
Okay. So that's the token that's got the character creation macro.
And now, do I left click or right click on this?
Yeah, you left click on your token here,
Oh,
and then
okay.
and then the button at the top of the screen that says character creation. You left click on that, and it'll roll stats, social class, birthday. Not bad. You do have some optional traits. You can, forget about them if you want to. So, being argumentative and mousy and female, you don't have to use any of that stuff. Social rank, I like to keep the random, social rank, and then you can pick whatever occupation your family generally has. Upper middle class means that you're basically almost rich. Your family is. It has no bearing on your character's starting money, however. Your stats are fairly decent. There's nothing too high, nothing too low. I don't think you get, like, even with an 8 in any stat, I don't think you get any minuses, even to hit if you had an 8 strength. Let me check real quick. 8, enter. Nope, even if you had an 8 strength, it doesn't even have a minus to hit. That's funny.
And you said I can't re-roll again if I want?
Yeah, you can re-roll again, and then whatever you roll for the second set, you're stuck with. Almost the same, except you do have a 6 now. That's good for a dump stat. And you have 15 and 14. Still 2 14s and a 15. 12. Looks like your 11 went down to a 10, and your 8 went down to 6, pretty much. Not too much of a loss. Usually naive, but frequently an antagonistic type of male. Upper middle class. Okay. So we can put those onto your sheet. And I'll just paste them right below your ability score area. So it should be easy to reference. I think most classes are available to you, even I think even Ranger. There's probably some races that aren't available though, but you said you wanted to be human. I think with a 15 and 2 14s you can be a Ranger if you wanted. But I mean, the only reason I use Ranger as a reference is because it has it's the only class that actually has 3 prime requisites. All the other classes have 1 or 2. Kind of makes the Ranger unique. I mean, there are classes that have 3 requirements, but Ranger is the only one that actually has 3 prime requisites. I think it's like Strength, Dex, and or strength, con, and wisdom, or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's right. Okay, do I roll for starting goal?
Yeah. The warrior, or what class archetype are you gonna be?
Fighter.
Okay. Um, they have. Whoops.
I think it's 5d4 times 10.
Yeah, I
I'm sorry.
think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right. Money and equipment, starting money. Table 43. Yeah, it is. Yep. 5d4 times 10. Did you want to go with the double dagger fighter that you wanted to play in the other guy's campaign? The dude said no.
Probably.
Okay. I will find you an interesting token to match that. Oops.
Do you start at max hit points at first level, or do you still roll?
Yeah. Yeah, max hit points. Nice. Zion, Myrmidon. Neutral good. Okay. That's Fighter's Handbook. And Warrior Kits. That's the one that gives you like free ancient history in military, military ancient history, and free specialization, and you come from a military background or a mercenary background. Ultimate Soldier. Yep, 5d4 times 10 starting gold. So let's see, Myrmidon, probably going to be from a European type place. So we'll say you're from, let's see, the men, racist, the men of Panoplia. Homeland, probably. Do you want to come from an actual standing paramilitary organization?
Whatever makes for the best story for you or easier for you. I mean, I could be a.
Okay.
I could work for one of the player characters if they have an army, I guess, or.
Yeah. So there's there's an NPC that actually runs. He is a Myrmidon himself, and he runs a paramilitary organization of mercenaries who serve as a police force and military for like a burgeoning democracy. So this democracy has only been around for like maybe 100 years. So like, think of Little Italy as a city, and they revolted against their monarchs, and the monarchs like surrendered or whatever, and now they have a democratic society, and some of the monarch families went into hiding or underground, or like became criminals. Some of them became government officials. Some of them became artists, and things like that. So people know who the former monarchs are because of their name, right? But they hold no special power unless they're part of the government. Obviously they have special power as like a senator or something. Like they probably have bodyguards and stuff like that, and have a little bit more protection from law enforcement than say like a beggar would. City, state of. So it's a little what's the word? Crooked? Synonym for crooked I'm looking for. Synonym for corrupt. So, monarchy obviously is corrupt because it's power, for, the family or whatever that rules the world pretty much. Corruption has just changed faces now, and it has become law enforcement. It has become organized crime. It has become all kinds of things. But that's what the city-state of Gronar is about. Gronar. So save changes. And the leader of this paramilitary organization is named Linus Iron Star. And he is the leader of the Iron Star Mercenary Corporation. Or Iron Star Mercenary Company. Okay, edit. Jarahawk. Save changes. Show to players. Okay, so the Iron Star Mercenary Company. They're a bunch of musketeers, basically. And they're law enforcement and military for this place called Gronar. And this is Gronar here. Jarahawk, save changes, show to players. So Gronar lies at the northernmost tip of a vast grassland known as Castle Downs on the Spoot River on the northeast border of the Forever Forest. You probably know what IMC meant. So edit. IMC is just short for Iron Star Mercenary Company. And you can either still work for this company or be an expatriate of it. Like you maybe decided it was corrupt, or you know, Linus Iron Star is full of shit. Maybe you're on a special mission sent by him to go somewhere and infiltrate the player character group or something. Okay, save changes. So Linus Iron Star is the president and CEO of the Iron Star Mercenary Company. He is he's a retired adventurer and native of Gronar. It is said that Linus once fought solo, toe-to-toe, with a newborn red dragon and survived back in his days with the Doomed. The Doomed are an adventuring company. The Iron Star family have long served the city-state of Gronar even before its abolition of the great monarchies of men in the 4th Eon. Linus is descendant of a great family of lords of Gronar. Before he joined the Doomed, Linus trained in the former city Watch of Gronar, thus began his career as a Myrmidon. Let's see. So out of that stuff, you probably know about the great monarchies of men. Jarahawk, save changes, show players. So the great monarchies of men were the Kingdom of Enervia, the Kingdom of Bryn, the Kingdom of Gronar before its political evolution into democracy, and the Kingdom of Gogatoon before its descent into fascism and subsequent fall as the Dragon Lord took over its dominion during the Great War in the 4th Eon. The 4 great monarchies led the men of Panoplia out of the Stone Age into a civilized world, as the men of Panoplia were little more than barbarians surrounded by civilized demi-humans at first. 4 tribes rose out of the wilds. They cultivated land, captured and raised livestock, and began trading with one another. Each kingdom had its own resources to contribute, but Gogatoon had the gold. As the millennia passed, Gogatoon became richer and richer as it fed on the other 3 kingdoms. Its greed knew no boundaries. One day, the long-forgotten king of Gogatoon declared war upon the other 3. He claimed that the tribe of people which had become his kingdom had evolved beyond those of the other 3 kingdoms. His vast armies began to crush everything in sight, beginning with the lords of Gronar who lived on Castle Downs. It was these events which later led to the beginning of the Great War. A little bit of history. You have access to Panoplia. Let's see. Edit. Jarahawk. Save changes. Show to players. So Panoplia, the ancient land of Panoplia, is the continent representing the most advanced cultures in Salnod Hex. Vast stretches of its verdant green land are covered by fabled locales such as Forever Forest, Castle Downs, and the Barricade Mountains. It borders Adria to the east, the Great White North, the vast ocean to the west, and Aperceba to the south. Panoplia is an ancient land as old as time. Traditions are important to its human denizens, but change is on the rise. Recent history is the catalyst that has brought about the end of old ways, and Panoplia is on the cusp of a new system of thought. Democracy, innovation, and deicide are the new order. Deicide means killing gods, basically. The death of the old way can be shot by smoking guns. Or the knights of the old way can be shot by smoking guns. Kings can be replaced with senators and politicians, and chivalry can be replaced by taxes and corruption. Yay, corruption. Whee.
So do they have guns?
Guns, yeah. Yep. Muskets, belt pistols, horse pistols, carbines. They have sword pistols, hammer pistols, dagger pistols. I think there's an axe pistol. Blunderbusses. Yeah. Are you interested in making like a gunfighter?
No.
No? Okay. Huh. The religions present in Gronar are, of course, you have the tree huggers, the worshippers of Gaia. They're basically everywhere, but they don't have a temple in Gronar. They're just, loosely affiliated with Gronar, and their worshippers kind of go outside the city for to worship, in natural settings. There's a temple dedicated to Odin in Gronar. He is their god of war and wisdom, and he's also a god of the Northmen of Panoplia, and he's pretty much the only god that the Northmen worship that is worshipped outside of the north part of Panoplia. There's also Hades. He's the god of wealth and also of death. There are a lot of people in Gronar proper that worship wealth. Wealth is it's their god, man. It's all about mammon. Mammon. And so Hades is super popular. Way more popular, I'd say, than Odin or any of the other religions. Probably about 50% of the population worship Hades. Hades himself is not evil, and I think his worshippers can be any alignment. They can be good or evil, doesn't matter. But his priesthood, they're not so good. They're really greedy. They're probably the greediest people ever. They're all about money, and they offer pretty much eternal life in exchange for money. You can pay them for resurrection, and they will resurrect members of their cult or whatever for a price. and it's pretty expensive. It's more than most people can afford, but it works. And they hoard their money jealously. They're all about hoarding that cash.
Goodness. Are there any good deities?
Odin is good. There's also a small following of a god named Motivus. He is kind of a cursed god. His worshippers face a lot of really harsh ostracism, and his temple in Gronar was actually destroyed by rioters like maybe like 100 years ago, and it lies in ruins, but there are still worshippers in the city that endure. And a lot of the kids and punks and like gangsters, they'll hang out in the ruins of his temple, and there's graffiti all over the place, like, you know, dicks and stuff, and like you know, graffiti writing, and just a lot of pictures of profane things, like pretty much dicks. And they people ostracize his religion by calling them sheep fuckers, because the god himself is a man with a sheep's head and angel wings. He's like the prime archon, the highest archon of heaven, and has his own following in this world only. It's a homebrew god, and most of his followers are lawful good. I think his worshippers can be any good, but most of them are lawful good. And there's actually an entire country dedicated to his worship that's in Panoplia, but it's not very large. It's a monarch, or not a monarchy, but a theocracy. It's a theocratic country led by the priesthood. And they have a pope. Their highest priest is called the Pope.
Okay, that's funny.
Yeah. But because of their curse, most of the worshippers live in Modivar, which is the name of the country. It's named after Motivus. Or Motivan. Oh, right. Okay, so Motivan is the I forget the what you call it in English, but Modivar is the name of the country. People from Modivar are Motivans. Anything from there is Motivan X. So like, if corn was grown in Modivar, it's Motivan corn. What do you call that?
Well, I don't need to declare one since I'm just a fighter, right?
You don't have to have a religion at all, no.
Okay.
And then
if they had something like, you know, Athena, Minerva, maybe.
Yeah, closest thing to Athena is Hera. She's the marriage goddess. I took Odin instead of Athena, actually, as the wisdom god. So unfortunately that wisdom and war. So that unfortunately that portfolio is taken by Odin.
Oh, that's fine. That's cool.
Yeah. I think most of Odin's worshippers are good anyways. So but if you don't want to take religion right now, you don't have to.
Okay.
So that's fine to leave it blank. Did you want to play male?
Yeah. If I can, I would prefer it.
Okay. And then so you're upper middle class, and then did you want to pick one of the jobs that your family has? Like maybe they're senior officers in the IMC, or there is a trade guild. They could be guild masters. The guild is it's essentially a better business bureau for Gronar. They make sure that all of the merchants like sell goods that are up to a certain standard, and any products that are not up to standard are basically illegal. So, you know, like rotten food, obviously illegal to sell it. Saddles that, you know, break and fall off, so the rider usually dies, obviously illegal. You know, swords that snap the first time you use them, you know, probably gonna get you killed, obviously illegal. Spears that are made of substandard wood, then, you know, they break too often or whatever, obviously illegal. Yada yada yada. So that's what the guild does.
How about major landowner?
That would be so you would be from the lords of Gronar. You'd be descended from the lords of Gronar, which means that your family would be like probably some kind of important NPC, like maybe the current speaker for the Senate or whatever is your father or something, or maybe even you could be like Linus Ironstar's younger brother, if you wanted to be. You could be there's a lot of different things you could be with as a major landowner. Do any of those things sound interesting? Like being the son of one of the members of government, or the brother of a major NPC?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I could be his younger brother. That's fine with me.
Yeah? Okay. So
that should provide some kind of intrigue.
Yeah, and of course, that would mean that your last name is Ironstar. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, Zion Ironstar. Save changes. And that would mean that your birth rank is 2. And your siblings is Linus Ironstar. Birth rank 2, siblings Linus Ironstar. Bam. Are you married, single, divorced, widowed, engaged to be married.
Well, single. How old is Einstein? And how old do I have to be? I guess because I was going to be a kid.
Let's roll your height, weight, and age. So what you do is you click on your token again, and then in chat there's that character creation template, and right somewhere near the top of it, there should be like a magenta colored button that says height, weight, age. If you click on that and then find human male, it'll spit out your starting age, your height and weight, and your maximum age. Single. Save changes. Did you find it? The magenta colored button?
Yeah. I'm gonna go into the menu right now.
Oh, okay. If you press the H key, it should take you to human or halfling, maybe, or half elf. I guess if you push HU, it'll take you to human. And then the first one should be male. Yep, human male. 74 inches. That's pretty tall. You're 6'2". Okay, 6'2". Your weight is 178. 8. Age is 16. Max age 111. When I do magical aging, it doesn't add to your age. All it does is subtract from your maximum age. And then some monsters that magically age you, it says like, you know, your hair turns white if you see a ghost or whatever. Yeah, like if you see a ghost, your hair turns white. Okay. But it doesn't make your current age any older. Like you're still 16 if you see a ghost. Because you were born 16 years ago.
Okay.
Do you have a avatar picture for your character?
Yeah, sure. One moment.
And I'm gonna find you a kick-ass token. Are you still a dagger fighter? Like a knife fighter?
Yeah.
That always makes me think of Mac the Knife from Captain Commando, the arcade game in the 90s. That was such a cool character. He'd run around.
I never played that one.
Oh. Yeah, there was you could play as Captain Commando, Mac the Knife, who was basically like a mummy that had two daggers, and he would like set people on fire. And then there was Babyhead, which was this big hulking robot that was had a tiny little operator's compartment up at the top where the head should be. And it was an infant baby that was the pilot. Pretty funny character. Let's see. There was just a dagger +4 that popped up last weekend too. Just last weekend.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But fortunately, daggers are a very common, bladed weapon in the treasure tables, so
Well, if I were a mage, that's what I'd make.
yeah. Let's see. Excuse me. Yeah, daggers are a pretty cool weapon because they're uh, multi-purpose. You can throw them too, and they're smaller than your character. So when you're being grappled, you can still stab with your daggers.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the versatility of the weapon.
Yeah. And then the speed is amazing on daggers too. You usually go first, especially with magic daggers. Hmm. Okay, I found a dagger dual wielder guy that's he has a like a almost like a COVID mask over his like nose and mouth, and he's wearing a cloak. Doesn't look like he's wearing any armor. Are you wearing armor?
I think I should be able to afford something like maybe leather.
Yeah. Yeah, he could be wearing leather armor. He's kind of dressed like a ninja, honestly. I'll make a token out of it and just show it to you. It doesn't cost anything to make a token out of these. He looks pretty cool. He looks like he's wearing leather armor to me. I want to run it by you first. What the hell? Okay. Alright. Okay, gift maker. Okay. Overlay. Extend canvas. Rotate. Negative 45 degrees. Crop. Your character's really tall, so I'm gonna make him take up the whole square. Crop image. Crop. Trim transparent pixels around image. Okay. Rename. Fighter. Whoops. Fighter. Dagger. Fighter. Oh, nice. Yeah, this character could be that guy. Just with like a cover over his head and face. Okay, it's almost uploaded. It's about halfway. And of course, if you don't like it, you don't have to use it. I'm gonna keep looking for something we can use. See if that's uploaded yet. Okay, looks like it uploaded. So advanced, flip horizontal, put vertical. Okay. Save settings. Alright, so this guy. I know, do you like him? This one right here.
Okay, yeah, that'll work.
Okay. Alright, I'll finish off his settings. So that's HP, bases, AC, and I give 1 foot of sight to everybody, minimum, so you can see your own token in the darkness. And then, yep, save changes.
Now I want to get the. You do use the arms and equipment guide, right?
Yes.
So I want to get the layered leather from that book, which is the equivalent AC and cost and weight to as hide armor. It's just not filthy. So I want to wear that, and I want to get a ruling from you on the bandolier out of that book. I want a leather one, and it says the cost is 7 to 10, which 10 is fine with me. But I need to know how many daggers you allow me to put in one.
Okay, so arms and equipment guide, right? Is that clothing?
Yeah, it's on page 121 of the arms and equipment guide.
Is it in the articles of clothing chapter?
In the player's handbook?
Articles of clothing in arms and equipment guide?
Oh, I don't know. I just know it's under clothing and it's page 121.
Okay, so the baldric / bandolier is in the player's handbook already. Usually, so it's basically it's a belt that is used to carry blades or pistols or grenades, and typically people are good enough at packing stuff on there. The only real limit to it is, of course, if you have two-handed swords on it, it would probably only have room for one two-handed sword, unless you're like you know, an ogre or something, then a bandolier you could probably put, or a baldric could probably hang like 3 or 4 two-handed swords. But pretty much the only limit to it is, you know, other than logic, is your weight allowance. So
Yeah,
how
I want to
many
get.
daggers can you carry? You know, that's
Yeah. I want to get 2. That way I can cross them basically.
yeah.
Um.
I mean,
So
you could put like 20 daggers on a baldric. As long as you can like carry it, that's fine with me.
okay, and the cost will be 7 or 10.
The one in the player's handbook. So, the baldric in the player's handbook. Money and equipment. Equipment list, clothing. I thought it was clothing.
Yeah, I didn't know it was in the player's handbook. I was.
Yeah, it's under like sheaths or belt, baldric, and wait. It's one of those category ones. Baldric, sword, hanger, baldric, and hanger, baldric, and sheath or scabbard or something like that. Sword, scabbard, hanger, baldric, 4 GP. There it is. Sword, scabbard, hanger, baldric.
Awesome.
Yeah. And how much was it in the equipment guide?
A leather one, it said, was 7 to 10 gold.
Yeah, that's too much. Yeah, it's in the player's handbook under clothing. Sword, scabbard, comma, hanger, comma, baldric.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then a bandolier, of course, is just a baldric that has pouches on it. So, you know, you buy a baldric, you buy 5 large pouches, throw it on your baldric. There you go. It's a bandolier.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good to know. I didn't realize what the difference was.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't imagine spending 10 GP on a damn baldric. That's like, I mean, aren't there swords that are worth 10 GP?
Oh yeah, I think a short sword is 10.
Yeah.
A long
So
sword is
that's-
15.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous price in that book.
I must admit, I've purchased them. When you want to throw daggers, you kind of need something
Yeah.
easily acceptable.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like your character has basically 2 baldrics. There's one that crosses over his left shoulder, and then one that crosses over his right shoulder. That's a pretty cool looking dude. He does look like a fighter too, because he's, I don't know, big. He's wearing bracers. So, the beauty of the dagger is it only weighs like 2 pounds or something. So, you can carry a lot of them.
Yeah, I like that weapon.
Yeah. And you can throw 2 per round if you're not a specialist, and it goes up from there if you are a specialist in combat and tactics.
Yeah, so it's 3 per round, at least my player's handbook, levels 1 through 6, and then it goes to the 4 at level 7 through 12.
Yeah. Missile weapons. This category includes slings and thrown weapons. Generally, specialists gain an increased rate of fire with these weapons and a +1 bonus to attack rolls. If a character specializes in a weapon that can be used either for melee or as a missile weapon, he gains the melee benefit described above when using the weapon for hand-to-hand combat and the increased rate of fire for using the weapon for ranged attacks. So you get both. If you specialize in daggers, you're specialized in its melee applications and its missile applications. And they have two different.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they have two different. You'd have two different like entries on the weapon table. You'd have dagger melee, dagger missile, and when you throw your daggers, apparently you don't get the strength bonus or the damage bonus from specialization. But you do get the +1 bonus to attack rolls. And refer to the table below for the exact number of attacks available to the specialist for various types of missile weapons. So
is that from the players or from the combat tactics?
Combat tactics.
Okay.
Let's see. Dagger. Melee weapons. Okay. Level specialist attacks per round. So with melee, you get, of course, 3 per 2 at level 1. When you thrown dagger, knife, at level 1 you can, just like you said, 3 per round at level 1, and then at level 7 it goes up to 4 per round, and then at level 13 it goes up to 5 per round that you can throw. Plus you get your offhand dagger, right?
Yeah, I'm taking 2 weapon fighting and ambidexterity. Those each cost a weapon slot.
Yeah.
A weapon proficiency.
Yeah. And technically, because they have, because they're not bolts, arrows, or bullets, you don't have to worry about them breaking. Like bolts, bullets, and arrows do when you miss. But there is a grenade like a missile effect if you miss your target when throwing weapons, though. Well, no, that would be for grenades, though. Grenade like stuff, so when you arc things.
But yeah, if you throw in the melee and you miss, there's a chance you hit one of your own people.
Yeah, if you don't roll for called shot.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so I saw you took ambidexterity. That's good. Broad group blades 3 slots. Dagger specialization 1 slot. Ambidexterity 1. So let's see, it's 4. 2 weapon specialization. Are you using non-weapon slots for weapon slots?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you allow that's the rule in the fighter's handbook, but
Yep.
you use the combat tactic.
Yeah, I allow that rule. Okay, so ambidexterity pretty sure is still 1 weapon slot in combat tactics.
Oh yeah.
2 weapon specialization. 1 slot. That's all you need for daggers, really. Dart specialization. Oh, well, here's one. You can only specialize in 1 weapon unless you're a samurai.
So what about the bonus specialization for the kid? Do I get that or no?
Yeah, it's basically a free slot for your dagger specialization. So where it says dagger specialization 1 slot, you just change that to 0 slots because you get it for free.
Okay, let's do this. I rather not take the kit then. I didn't realize we had that rule. I'll just, if you don't mind, I'll just be a fighter without a kit.
Okay. You still can only specialize with 1 weapon though as a fighter without a kit.
Right. So
okay.
I'm gonna have to make some changes.
Okay. Oh, you thought it was like the bonus specialization proficiency slot was for like another for a second weapon to specialize?
Right.
Okay. I can see how that. Yeah, I can totally see how that could be confusing. I'm gonna read that real quick. Warrior kits. Myrmidon. Yeah, free weapon specialization. Yeah, it doesn't say you can have a second weapon specialization, but I can see how that could be misconstrued. So dart, 2 weapon special, 2 weapon style. 1 slot. Yep, that's all you need for daggers. Bows, tight group. Let's see. Yeah, tight group bows. That would include. Let's see. Warrior kits. Close that. Let's see. Combat tactics. Is that under weapon? Yeah, okay, so probably weapon specialization mastery, proficiencies, weapon mastery, fighting style specializations. No, special talents. Armed combat, siege warfare, monsters, index. Maybe weapon proficiencies probably. Groups. Where's there it is, weapon groups. Specialization in weapon groups. Polearms, spears, javelins, swords, firearms, polearms, clubs, maces, and flails. You know, there's no, okay, there it is. Okay. Bows. Yeah, it is a tight group. Short bow, composite short bow, long bow, composite long bow. Nice. Yeah, for 2 slots, that's a steal. That is a steal. Short bow, composite short bow, long bow, composite long bow. And then Let's see. This would be what? Intelligence. Are you using the bonus intelligence slots from or the number of languages slots from intelligence as bonus slots?
Yeah.
Okay, so the only caveat to that rule is because it's an optional rule, what it does is it takes away the free language that you get if you don't use proficiencies, and so you have to buy your initial language. Well, it's only one slot, and then to be able to read a language, you have to be able to speak it first. So if you took let's see, reading and writing, yeah, so take common one slot, and then you'd be able to speak common, and then if you spent 2 slots on reading and writing common, then you can read and write it. Does that make sense?
Sure. Although that's not an optional rule in the fighter's handbook. That's not an optional rule in the player's handbook.
It's an optional rule in the player's handbook to use proficiency slots.
Right. But what I'm saying is that's not an optional rule in the fighter's handbook. But it's fine with me. I'm just letting you know that it kind of makes the fighter's handbook useless if it's only an optional rule.
What does?
Being able to use one's language slots for weapons as well as non-weapons.
No, you can. Yeah, you can do that. What I'm saying is, because I use the optional rule from the player's handbook to use the language slots as bonus proficiency slots, that means that the free language for the character is no longer free. So you have to spend at least 1 slot on a language, and that's it. You can use the rest of them on weapons if you want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then
all right, so I dropped the Boyer-Fletcher proficiency.
Okay.
And took speak common.
Yeah, and then reading and writing would be specifically for common. So we'd put it in parentheses or something. And 2 slots is fine because it's outside of your access. Military history bonus was for the kit. Are you still using the kit or no?
Oh no, let me delete that.
Okay. And then let's see. So that's 4, 7, 11 slots total to use. And you got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so your proficiencies are done. I'm just gonna plug in intelligence for these 2 proficiencies here. Intelligence. I think reading is the one that's +1. V, there we go. And then copy. Paste. There we go. And of course, common tongue of man. There we go. Or common tongue. 1 slot. And I'll never have to, you'll never have to roll to speak common, so I'm just going to delete that from your list right there. Reading and writing probably won't ever have to roll a check for that, but we'll keep it on there just in case. Like maybe if, I don't know, like if like the writing is like worn or something, like if it was carved into a rock, and it's hard to read. Or here's one. Okay, if it was written on the sidewalk in chalk and it rained last night, then I might make you, you know what I mean? I might make you roll a check to read, but that probably will never happen. Yeah, looks like your proficiencies are good to go. Oh, you didn't buy gear yet? Layered.
So far, the only thing I've bought is the bandoliers and the armor and the layered leather.
Okay.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. So it looks like you've got brown hair and what color eyes? Does he have brown eyes or? I can't tell.
Did I roll that or
no? You pick. It's your character. You pick your appearance and all that stuff. Did you want brown hair like in the picture or?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And then what color is Zian's eyes?
Brown.
Brown. Okay. And then for your appearance in the bio tab, that's just going to be what you would quickly read to the other players when you initially describe your character to them, so that they can get a feel for what your character looks like. And then as you gain treasure, you're going to want to adjust your appearance. Like, you know, for example, like in the beginning, you might be like a tall, dark and handsome warrior clad in you know, some kind of leather armor with a backpack that looks like it's stuffings are wanting, you know, like maybe it's only like a quarter of the way full or something, and you know you're but you've got a baldric that's, you know, decked out in like say 15, 20 daggers or whatever, and it looks like you're just ready to throw down at any moment.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then after that, we'll work on your character bio. We'll come up with some kind of reason why you want to go adventuring, like whether it's for fame or fortune, or maybe to show up your brother. Like, you thought you were my boss. Well, I'm going to go out into the world and join this, you know, group of adventurers and be 10 times as rich as you are, because I won't have a boss. You know, I'll be with adventurers and we'll have our own fish to fry and you know, get our treasure from wherever and not just get paid like some kind of servant, you know.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's all up to you, however you want to, you know, make your character's personality. But, you know, that's what characters are made of. Like, they're like a short little paragraph of their history goes a million miles when other people read it, because they can kind of get like an idea of what your personality would be like. Like Zion. Wait, you don't use the kid anymore. Wait, does that mean you still want to be Iron Star's brother?
Yeah, that's all good.
Okay. Um. Okay. So the armor part, it weighs 30 pounds. There's actually a line, the second line down on your gear menu is for all of your armor added up. So you'd put 30 there, but there is a spot to put the line that has layered leather in it. Copy, X, enter. So way up at the top, yeah, layered leather equivalent protection to hide armor. You'd put, what is hide armor, like 6?
Yep.
Okay, so layered leather, you'd put AC 6, and then, whoops, you probably don't use a shield at all, right? So you'd put none.
Yeah, no shield.
And then do you have a dex bonus? Yeah, you got a dex bonus of -1. So you put -1 dex bonus, magic item bonus, none, and miscellaneous bonus, none. So that means your AC is 5. Yep. Surprised would be, yep, 6. And then shieldless, since you're always shieldless, it is 5. And then that makes your rear AC 5, but you won't really need that information very much because it's all programmed into the attack macro. It'll tell you what your rear AC is at any time. Because what it does is it takes your surprised AC and finds the difference. It finds the difference between your surprised AC and your AC, and your shieldless AC and your AC, adds the difference together, and then applies that to your AC to find out what your rear AC is. Because your rear AC is supposed to be AC minus Dex and Shield. So it's kind of funny, but I programmed it into the macro to figure out every time someone attacks you what your rear AC is. And then since you're human, your natural AC is 10. So you need to know that for touch attacks. That's it. And oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Your adjusted natural AC would be 9 because of dexterity. So 9. Yeah. Okay. And it also gets adjusted by anytime you get magic armor or shield, you adjust your natural AC. Okay, experience. So you're gonna have, let's see, gain fighter 2 at, what is it, 2,500 for fighter?
2001.
2,100.
Just 2001. 2001.
Oh, okay. That's good enough. All right. Warrior. Yeah, 2,000. Character sheet. And then current XP is 0. And then I give out role-playing bonuses like candy. So you're probably going to gain levels pretty fast at first. But typical role-playing bonuses are 200 points each. So it kind of behooves you in your gained XP line to have something set up so you can count 200 XP bonuses. So you'd have, the quickest way to do that would be 200 times 0 plus 0, enter. And what that does is if you have, here, I don't know if you're looking at your character sheet or not, but I'll type it into chat just in case you're not looking.
I'm looking at it.
Okay. So 200 times 0 plus 0. Every time you get a bonus of 200, you increment that first 0 up by 1 where it says times 0. So if I gave you a role-playing bonus, it would read 200 times 1 plus 0. And then the next time you get a role-playing bonus, 200 times 2 plus 0. And what that does is it just multiplies, the 200. And then for group XP, that's what the plus 0 is. You just change, anytime you get group XP, you change that 0 to the group XP amount for your class. So like single class, it'll show a number for single class PCs, and that's the number you would copy and then paste into there. And then if you get more group XP, then you would put another plus and then paste the number in again. And then at the very end of the session, you rack up all your experience points. So let's say you get 9 role-playing bonuses, and you earn 4,500 points. That comes out to, let's see, what's your strength? Strength is 14, so you don't get the 10% bonus. Okay, so 200 times 9 plus 4,500 comes out to 6,300. And since you're level 1, you can't go beyond 1 experience point below level 3.
So 3,999.
Yes, 3,999 is what you would put in. And it would go like that. Enter. And then you go back and delete the 9, turn into a 0. And then everything after that plus 0, hit enter. And that's what it should look like when we, close the session and you leave. That way when you pick up the next time you play, you start off with fresh, your gained XP is still 0. You always want to have 0 XP at the beginning of the session in gained XP.
Okay.
So 200 times 0 plus 0 is 0 anyways, so yeah, that's what you want. You don't have to do it this way if you don't want to. I think that's what most of the other players do. So some other players might have like a counter for 100 XP bonuses and 500 XP bonuses, because there's a bonus of 500 for having a clever idea that saves the party, which is not something I give out super often, but I do it probably once like every other session to somebody, because somebody's bound to have a clever idea that saves the party some kind of heartache, or time, or saves the party effort, and then sometimes I give it out just for saying something so funny that it makes me crack the fuck up. I give out XP for basically, if you entertain me, I will like shower you with experience points. So if good role playing, you're gonna get a lot of bonuses. If you make me laugh a lot, you're gonna get those 500 point bonuses. And then the 100 point bonuses are it's like what is it? Having a clever idea, and then like encouraging others to participate. Like if someone's kind of fucking off and not paying attention, and you kind of encourage them to get into the conversation with the other players by addressing their character, directly. Sometimes I'll notice that, and I'll give you the bonus for encouraging others to participate. Because sometimes that does happen. People kind of fuck off and they're probably on their phone or something. Because we can't see each other, so you could be playing World of Warcraft, on the other side of Discord while we're playing D&D and only participate when it's actually your turn. We would never know. So, I mean, obviously, if your character gets hurt and you never adjust their health, I'm going to be wondering what you're doing, what's going on.
Right.
So, but I'm sure that happens. But yeah, encouraging others to participate is a bonus worthy action. 1 second. But some people are naturally funnier than others. So there are long periods of time where those people tend to earn a little bit more experience points than other people do when it comes to 500 point bonuses. So I mean, that's the way the cookie crumbles. If someone feels like they're in a mood to be funny and they do it, that's what you get, man. You get XP. So 1 more second. Let's see. Have you finished your gear? The Baldric. I don't think Baldrics have weight. But you're probably going to want, clothes. You're probably going to want to carry multiple daggers. So what you do for that is just to track your how many daggers you have. I would just go straight to weight, like where it says oh right, never mind. It adds up total weapon weight for you. So if you have 2 daggers, you're gonna want to put both their weights in the weapon table. But if you have like 20 of them, just make sure that one of the daggers kind of reflects the weight of 19 of those 20 daggers, so that you can track how many daggers you have. And you probably do that right here in the weapon table itself, for where it says weight. So I think each dagger is like 2 pounds. So if you have 20 daggers, you're probably going to want your, let's see, dagger, melee, and then dagger, missile. So if you have 2 daggers, you'd put 2 on your, if they weigh 2 pounds. I'm pretty sure they do weigh 2 pounds. So if you have 20 daggers, you put 2 pounds on your missile dagger, and then you'd put 38 pounds here for melee, or either or. That way, down at the bottom, in your gear section, it will reflect the total weapon weight for 20 daggers, which is 40 pounds. And you would put it in the weapon area right here. Put 40 pounds, enter, and that increases your total gear weight to 100 pounds. Oh, but we got to delete this one. There we go.
They're actually 1 pound.
Oh, they are? Nice.
Yeah, they're 1 pound, but they cost 2 gold.
Oh, okay. So then you'd have 1, enter, and then 19, enter. Okay, 20 pounds for weapons, enter, and now your gear is 50 pounds. But that's only if you bought 20 daggers. That's a lot of daggers. So I don't know how many. Are you just gonna have 2 in the beginning?
Probably at least 8. I'm gonna have to figure that out.
Okay.
Because it really is based on how much my character can carry.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So I gotta buy like a lantern and all that stuff, and those weigh like I think 3 pounds or something like that. So you gotta figure you
Yeah.
can carry everything.
Yeah, and then each each lamp oil pint weighs a pound, and it burns for an hour or something like that, or like
Right.
maybe a little longer, maybe like 2 hours. I don't remember, but and I do measure time too. So when people burn torches, I each torch is 30 minutes. A pint of oil. I think it says in the player's handbook how much a pint of oil or how long a pint of oil burns. But I do track those things so that you actually have to spend money, and sometimes people run out of oil and they gotta burn a torch or pick up break off the leg of a bed and wrap some feathers in a blanket and set that on fire.
Right. And the other thing is torches are cheap. They're like a copper, but they weigh a pound.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can walk around with a bunch of them.
Yeah. 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 Usually people buy 2 or 3 of them for each, for a dungeon. And then once they go back to town, they kind of replenish their torches. Because most dungeons, even the mega dungeons that I've ran, unless you sleep in the dungeon, people only adventure in the dungeon for maybe 90 actual minutes in game. And that's including like role playing with NPCs, and like exploring and like popping open locks and stuff. Like I've ran a dungeon one time that had it must have had like 30 rooms in it, man. It was big. And it had I want to say about 250,000 experience points worth of monsters. And they adventured through this dungeon. Other than the time that they spent sleeping, it took them 2 hours in game. So 60 minutes was basically one foray into the dungeon, and they spent all their spells and stuff, and then they left and slept, and then they went back in and did another hour and beat the rest of the dungeon. So time is in dungeons, it's not as slow as most people think. Most dungeons are done, like smaller dungeons are done in 15 rounds. 15 rounds and a whole small dungeon is done, like gone. Mega dungeons, give them an hour of actual character time, if you track time. So what that does is it makes the spells much more effective because the duration of your protection from evil spell, it might last 3 or 4 fights. You cast protection from evil on somebody outside the dungeon, you go in, you might fight 5 or 6 different monster encounters before the spell is over, and you'll do most of the dungeon before your torch burns out. So it's that's why I like to track the game minute by minute, because it maximizes the effect of everyone's spells and light and all of the characters' assets. All your assets are 100% worth something in this game because I track time minute by minute.
Okay, that sounds cool.
Yeah. So let's come up with an appearance, I guess. Have you thought up what your character looks like? or how you want to describe him?
Oh, let me see. Let me think about it for a minute.
Do you want me to type it in for you?
That's fine.
Okay.
So I guess at first glance he would appear to be tall.
He's pretty young, right? 16?
Yeah, he's young, tall, unattractive.
Tall, unattractive young man.
No, unattractive. I got a low charisma.
Oh, tall, attractive.
No, unattractive. Not attractive.
Unattractive?
Yeah, he's ugly. We could just say ugly. Here stands a tall, ugly youth.
Yeah. Tall, unattractive young man with like shoulder length brown hair. A patchy beard, or like misshapen beard. If he has low charisma. What is his charisma, by the way? I didn't check.
6.
Ooh. People are gonna want to kick his ass for no reason. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
He probably comes off as an asshole a lot, like just accidentally, because he's so socially awkward. A tall, unattractive young man with shoulder-length brown hair, who seems shoulder-length brown hair, and a patchwork. How about a patchwork beard? And a patchwork beard. Tall, unattractive young man with shoulder-length brown hair, and a patchwork beard. What kind of armor is it?
It's layered leather. It's basically double leather.
Okay. He wears a special type of layered leather armor. And a baldric covered in daggers. A baldric full of daggers. And a baldric full of daggers. Were you going to buy a backpack for him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I will. A backpack. I'll have 2 large pouches.
His backpack seems wanting, as he seems to have spent most of his money on daggers. That's probably not true. You said you only wanted 8, and they're pretty cheap. What book is layered leather from? I don't think I've ever seen that.
Arms and Equipment Guide.
Arms and equipment guide. Is there an equivalent in combat and tactics? Guide. Arms and equipment guide. Armor. Padded armor, studded leather, spiked leather.
I've never used it for a game.
Oh, that's cool. Spiked leather.
So it's probably going to be in the hide armor description at the end of that description.
Oh, in combat and tactics?
Yeah, if you look at well, I don't know about combat and tactics, but if you look at arms and equipment guide,
Yeah.
it's probably going to be under the hide leather heading, because at the very end it says the human equivalency of hide, because usually it's humanoids that wear hide, is layered leather.
Oh, okay. Hide armor is made from thick hide of a very large animal. Like padded armor, hide armor is often decorated to show tribal allegiances. Thick hide armor. Some of these tribes actually believe. Let's see. I'm gonna look for the word layered on here. Layered. The equivalent of hide armor among humans and demi-human races is layered leather armor, wherein many layers of normal leather armor are bonded to one another to form a heavy, thick plate of protection. This armor is considered hide armor with regard to weight and cost, but does not suffer the problems of odor and disease seen in hide and padded armors. Okay, that's cool. And there's got to be something equivalent to that in combat and tactics. Oh yeah, I've got it. A handout in the game here, which is not responding right now. Let's see. Weapons and armor. Armor description. Armor descriptions. Let's see. Find layered. How about leather? Studded leather, spiked leather. Okay, that's in arms and equipment. So brigandine. This is AC 4, so. Wait. Not. It's AC 6. Okay. AC 6. Cord armor AC 8. Gallic armor AC 8. Hide AC 6. Hoplite armor AC 5. Improved mile AC 4. Lamellar AC 5. Leather helm, light scale. Lorica Hamata AC 6. This Roman armor consists of a chainmail shirt and a skirt of leather reinforced with bronze or iron strips. It was an early armor used at the time of the Punic Wars until the 1st century AD. That's not what we're looking for. Lorica segmenta. Breastplate of banded mail and reinforced skirt of studded leather. Padded ring mail, scale mail. coat or shirt with scales of metal into it. Some forms of scale mail were made with horn or leather OC, aka light scale. Scale mail was never widely used in the West, but saw extensive use in the Middle East and Orient. Yeah, that's fine. It's just an advanced form of hide armor. I suppose. Hide, wood or bone. Hide armors were rare in Western Europe, but saw some limited use in Eastern settings. At the DM's option, hide armor can be used to simulate the buff Kotoa Renaissance armor made of several layers of stiffened leather. Yeah. At the DM's option, hide armor can be used to simulate the buff Kotoa Renaissance armor made of several layers of stiffened leather. So we'll just change the name of it to Buff Kotoa, because that's actually in the Combat and Tactics book. And it's the same leather they're talking about. Same leather that they're talking about in Arms and Equipment Guide. Buff. Whoops.
Okay.
Buff coat to I don't know how to make that other symbol. But it's a apparently a Renaissance armor for city slickers. Ha. Perfect. Okay, backpack. I think backpacks are 2 pounds. I don't remember.
Yeah, they're 2 pounds and they cost 2 gold.
Okay. And then underneath his armor, is he just wearing like a tunic and some breeches?
Yeah, I was gonna buy some normal clothing, maybe some soft leather breeches or soft leather jacket.
Yeah. I think there's 2 different kinds of shoes and 2 different kinds of boots. Pretty sure. And then there's like sandals for footwear. I think any of those really would be available in Gronar, because it's supposed to be It's basically supposed to be Little Italy. Like the people there talk like they're from the Bronx or something, you know. They have that accent. But it's I've kind of modeled it after Rome, or like an early version of Rome. So
Yeah, I think hard leather boots are for riding horses, and then the softer leather boots are for actually walking in.
yeah, and usually the riding boots have spurs, so they go ping, ping, ping as you walk. So does he still get along with his brother, or did he leave his brother in spite?
Um, I probably he left, not necessarily in spite, but just because he wanted to do his own thing.
Hmm. Kid brother to Linus Iron Star. Zion grew weary of working in his brother's employ. Was it because he was tired of working for his brother? Or maybe is it because he thinks he can do better?
Well, yeah, he believes he can do better,
Okay.
but it's hard to say until you actually try.
Yeah. Being an ambitious youngster, he believes that he can do better than his brother ever had. Zion gathered what assets he could and purchased equipment to set out on an adventure after hearing of an adventuring group who frequently visits Gronar. This group, known as the Superstars, aka the PC Party, includes several people whom Zion has heard of, including Kalimar, Kalatza, the Drow, and Asher, Kaihana, the Gray Elf. So superstars should already have access to superstars because I think everyone in the PC party has access to superstars.
No.
Okay, I'll give you access.
The superstars.
Yep, superstars. That's what they name themselves eventually. Well, that's what one of them named them. And then the name stuck.
Darn's Instant Fortress.
Yep, they have a Darren's Instant Fortress. In 5th edition, it's called just Instant Fortress. And when they deploy it, that's what I use that that thing for, that the tower section that you can see in the party folder, because I forget who has it, but it's a cube made of metal about the size of a Rubik's Cube. And when you throw it and say the magic word, it turns into a 30-foot tall tower. It's 20 by 20 by 30. And then when you say the magic word again, the door opens and you can go in. And then you say the magic word again, and the door closes. And you can camp inside. And it has like a rooftop with a battlement. And there's murder holes in all the walls and everything. So you can shoot out of them.
So they just put that on any land they come to, or
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah, they literally just throw it and then say the magic word.
That's nice.
And it can be used as a weapon too. Causes a lot of damage. So pretty much all that is just written by the players. Yeah, Lao Shen's a funny character. Okay, so I'll make sure you have access to superstars. Yeah, you have access to it. All players. Can be edited by all players. So you can add to it.
Okay, nice.
Put your story on there. Okay. And then after learning of their whereabouts and tracking them down for several weeks, Zion has finally caught up to them in the okay. Caught up to them just out caught up to them in the jungle just outside of the Tower of Serpents in eastern Nod. East. Eastern land of Nod. Or is it the land of Nod? It is the land of Nod. God damn. I need to change that. Yeah, I do. In the eastern in the northeastern jungles of the land of Nod. Here we go. Okay, cut up to them. That's redundant. So Zion has finally caught up to them just outside the Tower of Serpents in the northeastern jungles of the Land of Nod. Save changes. Okay, I'm going to give you access to the Tower of Serpents. Actually, you should already... Yep, all players. Okay, so... this addition to the Towers of Set houses the overseer of the Cult of Set in charge of creating the dreaded dinosaurs. Once completed, the dinosaurs will no longer guard the Towers of Set. And then the Land of Nod, I'll give you access as well. Nod represents the center of civilization in Aperceba. It is a vast and beautiful country of desert and savanna landscapes with mountainous and jungle regions as well. Its capital city, Megiddo, is a place of much magical and martial splendor, nestled in a formation of tropical mountains which gives birth to the River of Life. This holy river is revered by the followers of Isis for its rich historical value in the region, as it is the birthplace of many mythological people and creatures, representing the womb of Isis in physical form. It is joined by the Golden River several miles from its delta before landing in the deep blue sea. So you're probably going to need to know what Aperceba is as well. Let's see, edit, yeah, Jarahawk, save changes, show to players, and then Aperceba it's a whole continent. Edit. Oh, all players have access. Save changes. Show to players. Aperceba is a deep and broad continent reaching from a temperate region south of Panoplia and bordering Adria in the northern hemisphere, all the way to the southern shroud in the southern hemisphere. The painted men of Aperceba are tribal nations and nomads with scatterings of desert civilizations. The flora and fauna of the continent are inhospitable to human life, and many plagues beset mankind here. Pestilence, famine, and black necromancy rule all in the deepest regions of Aperceba. But there's like mummies and tombs and stuff like that in the southern parts of Aperceba. And then where the party is right now, the desert is mostly filled with Towers of Set, mesas, which are like rocky outcroppings that come up out of the desert that are filled with caves and places where water occurs naturally because the caves are much, much cooler than the surrounding desert. So they're kind of like natural connaughts, in a sense. And then there's also naturally occurring oases in the desert that they attract like basically all kinds of animals and monsters and stuff, but for the most part they tend to leave each other alone just to be able to get water and then leave, kind of like in real life. So you might find like lions and gazelles drinking right next to each other at the edge of the water, and then as soon as they leave, it's on, like Donkey Kong. But while they're there drinking the water, they're supposed to mind their P's and Q's. But sometimes monsters come in, and monsters don't mind their P's and Q's. The animals do, usually, and people do, usually. But monsters, on the other hand, not so much. And there's like blue dragons and shit that fly around in this desert. So sometimes it can get a little hairy.
Okay.
But the main mission was pretty much to go to like the southern reaches of Aperceba, where the desert turns red, and the sky turns red, and there's a cursed land called Tintabula that like sunk beneath the desert, and the people mutated into man scorpions. And there's an artifact down there that's controlled by these, well, guarded by these man scorpions, that the party needs in order to move a building from the Great Below, which is my version of the Underdark, into a city in Adria. Adria is like the eastern continent, so that's the place that has like, you know, ninjas and samurai and monks and martial arts and stuff like that. But there's a goddess that her avatar is normally the empress of all of Adria. It's an empire, and she was originally the empress, but she was assassinated, and she needs this building in order to be reborn. So they're helping her to be reborn right now by moving it out of the Underdark and into the light, into the sunlight, because she's a goddess of the dawn. So she has to be born from, you know, morning's light or whatever, and she can't be born from morning's light in the Underdark, so she needs help.
Okay.
But that's the gist of the current story arc. Maybe your character wants to get rich and help out, or maybe he's a worshiper of that goddess or whatever, and she came to him in a dream and said, you know, go south and find the superstars or something. Who knows? It's all in how you want to roll with your character.
All right, yeah, that sounds good. I'll give it some thought.
And it looks like most of it is already written out, but a little bit of your flavor is pretty much what it needs. However you want to roll with Zion. I usually only ask people to write like a paragraph. So, you know, if you want to add some embellishments in there, that would be cool. Because that's pretty basic what I wrote for you. So his motivation is all up to you. But I gotta take my girlfriend to the store right now. There's it's one of those stores that closes at 11, and it is 5 to 10. She's getting antsy. With your character as is, it looks like all you need to be able to play on Saturday is finish your equipment section.
Okay, sure, I can do that.
So you're probably gonna need some clothes, a backpack, you know, a tent, a blanket, something to carry water in, some food.
Am I gonna need a horse or a camel or anything? Or?
Well, we'll say that the stuff that you buy now is what you have left from your journey. So we'll say that you had like several camels that died on the way to the you had several camels, but they died during your journey through the jungle because, you know, there was like something in the dark one night that just snatched your camels away or something, and you didn't know what it was. You know, you can put that in your bio, even a nice little backstory for your character. on the journey south and into the jungle.
Okay.
So should be pretty exciting. They're currently still in the jungle, and they just finished camping in that Darren's Instant Fortress, and they identified a bunch of the treasure, and some of them healed up a little bit, and I think they're getting ready to try to leave the jungle now, which is an adventure in itself because jungles are so thick with life. So I'm sure you'll get some nice juicy XP from, some random encounters on the way out.
Cool. And if not, I'll get to roll another character.
Yeah. But all right, man. I'll leave you to it.
All right. Thanks again.
Yeah, and it's the game is the correct time is posted on the LFG, so it's 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. So Mountain would be what, noon?
11.
No, 11. Yeah, 11 Eastern until 4 p.m.
4 p.m.
Yeah. So
Sounds
see you
good.
then. All right, man.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
Take care.